Hello and welcome to today's video in which I'll be making a special collection of football club logos from the Premier League. But first, a special shout out or early warning to other Premier League teams for Wrexham F.C. They're coming for you. For those of you who may not know, a few years ago, Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney, this guy, bought Wrexham F.C. and they've been dominating ever since. There's a series about them on Disney Plus, and the up close and behind scenes operations of the football club is absolutely fascinating. Not to mention the amount and depth of stories, last minute goals and saves both on and off the field is insane. Highly recommended. The actual Wrexham logo depicts two dragons holding a football and a crown on top. I think it's true to say they've had this logo since 1975 and it's based heavily on the Wrexham City crest. As you can see, I just placed the form and thinned it out as it went along. I'm not quite sure why there is a crown on top. If you are a Wrexham fan and know, please tell us in the comments. I do know why there are dragons there. Cause they're Welsh. They got dragons on everything. Overall, I think I've given it an 8 out of 10. It's pretty close, not bad. Next, we have Newcastle FC. This was the first team I ever followed in the Premier League back when Alan Shearer was kicking ass. Not that he's still not kicking ass, I guess he's just doing it off field. Newcastle's logo depicts two seahorses on a crust with a lion on top holding a flag. You probably can't see that from my build here. In my defense, I didn't realize until right now doing the research that it's not horses on the side, it's seahorses. But it had seahorses because it's next to the sea. I always just thought they were horses with wings. I guess I'm the donkey now. The line on top looks more like a one-legged man holding a flag. Technique with the inverse and the slope I learned from the Boutique Hotel. The banner on the bottom here is really interesting and also a difficult thing to get right. But I really like how this is 4D. I could easily see this on a display next to your Newcastle scarf. Overall, I'll give this 3 different grades because the idea is 9 out of 10. The execution is probably more like a 6 out of 10. I could bump it up to a 7, but these horses... But there's one-legged man on top. He's no lion. Next here we have Leicester. Leicester City, also known as the Foxes, depicts on its logo a fox in front of some kind of flower and a circular background. A team I supported or followed very closely in the 2015-16 season. It was a fairy tale. Schmeichel on goal, Mahrez kicking ass, Vardy beating all kind of records. I do think they had the power of Cosmos behind them that year. Remember 2016? That was a weird year. Getting the circle in the background is a little bit difficult. I'll show you here later how I got there. The fox face was quite straightforward. No problem there. So overall I'll give this probably an 8 out of 10. It's a high grade, but I think it can be defended. Tottenham FC, a London-based club, was formed in 1883 by 13 schoolboys on the corner of Tottenham High Road and Park Lane after they collected enough money to enter the league. I followed them really closely when in the Pochettino era. Pochettino? Anyway, with Harry Kane, back when they sold Elvis and bought the Beatles. They were so close. I think they're on the way down now. I'm sorry to say it's Spurs. Their logo depicts a cockerel, which they've thinned out over the years. My version here is alright. I know it's been facing the wrong way for most of the shoot, but the shape is pretty much there. I know the color is not there. It's supposed to be blue and not black, but they do play in black away jerseys, so I think this version is a lot cooler. And shape-wise, you can tell it doesn't need much to bump it up to an 8 or 9. But overall, I think I'll give it a solid 6 out of 10. You could go either one up or one down. Let me know what you think. Coming up the rear, you could say literally Brentford, another London club. After 2 close attempts, they finally got promoted to the Premier League and been kicking ass ever since. They beat Arsenal in the first ever game, and they're already mid-table. People were talking about EuroLeague this year about them. It's crazy. Obviously, everyone here in Denmark been following them pretty closely. Danish coach and about 6-7 Danish players, which has been thinned down lately. But they're doing really well. Their logo depicts a bee in front of a round crest. My execution of the logo is so-so. Mid-table, I would say a 5 out of 10. I think it looks pretty close far away, but once you get a bit closer, you can see the small mistakes. I think it's a really good metaphor for something. Next up we have Wolves, which, honest to say, I have no relationships with. Is a little bit of an afterthought. I just thought this would be an easy one to make, which it is and isn't. Looking at close to this, you can either give it a 9 out of 10 or a 4 out of 10. It can go either way. There's some gaps here and there. But I got a little secret. I do put myself under a little bit of a time limit, so I actually just have to get it done. It's really good for practicing, because otherwise I'll just nip-nally with something for ages and ages. Like, no, get it done and move on. Build, destroy, repeat. It's a great concept. Finally, we have Arsenal, which is not my favorite team. I don't dislike them either. I mean, they're a really interesting team to follow. If you're a nerd, they're my dad's favorite team, and it must be so frustrating to support. Time and time again, I've seen them build themselves up and gotten so far ahead, only to trip over their shoelaces or their headbands. Like even this year, drawing 3 games right up to the biggest game of the season, which they had 99 problems and a goal was one of them. The actual logo depicts a cannon on a red and blue and gold crust. I didn't realize there were 2 shades of red until I looked closer and tried to do it just. I then realized when researching the logo, the reason why there's 2 shades of red is to get a convex illusion. Yeah, I had to Google that one too. As my depiction of the logo is naturally convex or 3D, I could just have used the same shade of red and cleaned it out a lot better. So I'm gonna have to give this a low grade, maybe a 6 out of 10. I would have preferred the cannon more naturally ingrained into the whole thing and all the curves more elongated. But at least now I know which bricks to look out for next time in the pick and brick store. So those are my Premier League teams for now. If your team wasn't there, my team wasn't there, so don't get mad at me. But if your team wasn't there, let me know in the comment. Maybe I'll make that and I'll keep an eye out for it next time. But yeah, that was a lot of fun and I hope you guys enjoyed yourself. Until next time, I'll see you later. Have a nice day. Cheers, bye. If you're thinking what to watch next, press like button while you're doing it. Really helps me out. Thanks, bye.